What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with the Destiny 2 Season of the Wish video, and in this one we're going to talk about new rewards and loot that we'll be able to pick up starting in Season 23. And so as always, there will be new weapons, new perks, ritual rewards, exotic items and more. But also in the video we'll round up some cosmetics making their way into the game, and various reward updates that'll be part of the new season. So there are various economy changes, new ways of acquiring specific pieces of loot, vendor updates, and we additionally get details about changes coming to specific items, weapons, exotic armor updates, and we've got a few other things to round up in the videos. So as always, I hope you enjoy this one today, and if you do, be sure to get subscribed and I'll keep you posted on more Season of the Wish content. But without further delay, let's get into it. And so firstly, we should talk about some of the juicy new items that we'll be able to pick up in Season 23. And first of all, there is the ritual weapon that Bungie previewed a few days back. And Bungie say they're bringing a sword with the launch of Season 23 on November 28th. And the Chivalric Fire will be the new ritual weapon for the season. So this is a Void caster sword. And as always, it'll be able to be earned from Gambit, Vanguard, or Crucible playlists. And there'll be a skin for each of those modes as well. And Bungie have teased that this will be able to roll the Void perk combo of things like Repulsor Brace and Destabilizing Rounds. But additionally, it'll feature a new perk called Attrition Orbs, and dealing sustained damage will create an Orb of Power. So there'll be some interesting capabilities for the weapon. Obviously, it's nice to get a Void caster sword, and it's the first one that's been added to the game for some time. So let us know if that's one that you plan to go after down below. But additionally, they say there'll be more to come in Season 23, and that includes a brand new Hake Aggressive Frame Strand Pulse Rifle as the competitive division reward. So finally, the Mercurial Overreach will be replaced, and while we don't have a more in-depth preview just yet, there will be a new comp pulse rifle to chase down. But Bungie have outlined that Trials will also get a new Strand Adaptive Trace Rifle, which is called the Incisor, with the Iron Banner receiving a new high-impact auto rifle, which is the Strand Lethal Abundance auto. And finally, there'll be a new Nightfall weapon as well, which is the Undercurrent, an arc waveframe breech-loaded grenade launcher. So those are just some of the new playlist rewards that we'll be able to pick up, but additionally, we will get Season of the Wish themed weapons, possible hidden exotics, the Season Pass reward, and all of the themed loot that we'll be able to pick up from the featured activities in Season 23. But other more minor items being introduced in Season 23 include the Crafting emblem, and this is the commemorative emblem that Bungie are introducing, which recognises the crafting glitch that happened a few weeks back. So for any players who signed in between September 15th at 9 AM PDT and September 21st at 10 AM, this new emblem will be unlocked at the start of the season. And then on top of that, there'll be a handful of updates to existing loot in the game, including economy updates. But firstly, of course, Bungie are increasing the speed of all sparrows to be in line with the always on time sparrows. So all sparrows in the game will now have two selectable speed options, which are essentially the fast variant and the slower variant, and will no longer have to pick between always on time, which many of us have had equipped forever, and other cosmetic sparrow options, which of course have been slower up until this point. And something connected to that, but Bungie are introducing Sparrow Control, which is a new control variant where players are able to jump on sparrows, and of course the playlist mode's maps will be curated and weighted towards larger maps according to Bungie. So that's going to be interesting as well. And then for all of the new and updated rewards, Bungie are finally introducing the function that allows players to access the Vault from orbit. So while a lot of us do use Item Manager like tools, the traditional Vault will at least be accessible from orbit, so if you're queuing up for a raid, we'll be able to dive into the Vault and grab any items that we may need without having to return to the helm or the tower. So that'll be a positive quality of life update as well. Next up though, there are a bunch of economy changes that are worth keeping in mind, and firstly, Season 23 will begin the slow deprecation of legendary shards from the game, and in Wish they'll be removing all legendary shard costs from the Monument to Lost Lights. Plus they'll be fully removing legendary shard costs from gear focusing across the board, and in Season 23 non-adept focusing will cost ritual engrams and glimmer only, with focusing adept weapons still requiring 7 wins on a Trials Passage or Nightfall ciphers, but importantly no legendary shard costs. And then once Final Shape rolls around, as Bungie have outlined, legendary shards will be entirely removed from the game. But Bungie have also got updates to Raoul's material exchanges, and that includes the ones you can see on screen. So to acquire an enhancement prism will cost 10 enhancement cores and 2,500 glimmer, which is down from 10,000 glimmer, and all of these will be limited to 3 purchases per week. We can see as well that Ascendant shards will cost 10 enhancement prisms and 10,000 glimmer, which was previously 50,000, and then Ascendant alloys will cost 10 enhancement prisms and 10,000 glimmer, with 5 enhancement cores costing 1 enhancement prism and 2,500 glimmer. There are also some reward updates for PvP, and firstly for Trials, Bungie have said these rewards will be granted in the post-game loot stream, with 3 wins granting Trials armor, 4 wins granting 5 enhancement cores, 5 wins granting a standard trials weapon, and 6 wins granting 3 enhancement prisms. But also related to PvP, in Season 23 Bungie will enable us to focus for legacy Crucible competitive weapons, so if you want to pick up older comp weapons, Bungie have said we'll only be able to focus them once we've completed placement matches, and players will also be limited to a number of weekly focuses based on the highest rank achieved so far in the season. So Copper ranks will be able to focus 1 engram, Bronze will be able to focus twice, with Silver focusing 3 times, Gold focusing 4 times, Platinum allowing 5 focus options, and then Adept is 6 and Ascendant is 7. They also say the cap on how many times you can focus can be changed mid-week, but of course that will require a rank up. And they say the going rate for focusing competitive weapons will be 3 Crucible engrams and 25,000 Glimmer, but it will be a good way to catch up or reacquire weapons from previous seasons. Connected to that though, Bungie have also outlined that they'll be introducing gunsmith focusing, and the costs here will be in parity with how much focusing ritual weapons cost in general, so it'll be 3 gunsmith engrams and 5,000 Glimmer, which will enable players to access older foundry weapons, while targeting specific foundries. But to support that, they'll also rework how we can access gunsmith engrams, so we'll still earn them by ranking up gunsmith reputation, but also Lost Sector completions will have the chance to drop them, and normal Lost Sectors will have a 20% chance, as will free roam world chests, with Legend Solo and Platinum Lost Sectors having a 40% chance, and Master Solo and Platinum Lost Sectors having a 60% chance. And so while some of the gunsmith weapons will be rotated out and no longer be immediately accessible from the inventory, there will be additional focusing methods to continue to acquire them into the future. Bungie have also said that they want to give us more options for how we set up ghost mods, and that includes a bunch of reworks for the energy costs of various mods. So you can see those on screen right now, and they've said this will enable players to have a ghost mod in every slot, and while the benefits are minor, at least having more options and methods for how we can utilize those mods will be beneficial. And so that breaks down some of the new rewards we know about for Season 23, as well as economy, and changes to how standard rewards in the game are earned. Otherwise, there will be updates to specific pieces of gear, of course, and Bungie accidentally leaked some exotic buffs that will be making their way into the game in Season 23 as well, including for the Stompies, and the new description for that reads that it increases sprint speed and slide distance, as well as improving high jump, strafe jump, and triple jump. But they'll also introduce functionality that allows players to take less damage from combatants when airborne. On top of that, Shards of Galanor gets an update, and Throwing Knife Final Blows decrease the cooldown of your super, with hits and final blows with Blade Barrage returning super energy after the super ends. Plus there's Mechaneer Trick Sleeves, which increases sidearm airborne effectiveness, ready speed, and reload, but while critically wounded, swapping to a sidearm reloads it and increases its damage. And then while the effect is active, sidearm final blows reload the weapon and extend the effect's duration. Then we get on to Celestial Nighthawk, where precision final blows reduce the cooldown of your super, and of course it modifies Golden Gun to fire a single high damage shot, and targets eliminated by the shot give you super energy and explode. Then for Synthesept, when surrounded you gain increased melee and super damage, as well as improved weapon handling and reload speed. And for Karnstein Armlets, melee and finisher final blows instantly grant cure and provide restoration for a short duration. And of course that was an unintentional preview of some of the changes coming in Season 23 when Bungie erroneously updated the descriptions for those exotics early. So they'll probably come out with a sandbox update that goes into more depth and probably provides more changes which haven't been outlined just yet. But in addition to that, we're going to see buffs for the Vex Mythoclast, which will do 10% more damage against red bar combatants, 25% more damage against bosses, and 200% more damage against champions when in linear fusion rifle mode. And additionally, Bungie have said that Revision 0 will do increased damage versus champions by 100% as well. Then we get the new Thorn Catalyst, and that will grant 20 range, 10 stability, and getting kills or picking up a remnant grants additional range, handling, and mobility. But there's also a rework to the weapon where picking up a remnant can overflow the magazine up to 40 rounds maximum. So that's going to be a juicy one, although at the same time in terms of poison weapons they did outline that Osteostriga will see a nerf, where they're removing the SMG damage bonus scalar that affects poison damage, so the poison element of that weapon won't be as strong as it is right now. Plus there's a rework to all of the exotic glaives in the game. The class glaives will get a significant bunch of changes. And for things like Winterbite, we'll see increased detonation damage of the large projectile by 25%, with the self-damage blast radius and damage itself being reduced. So plenty of stuff coming down the road in terms of rewards, economy, acquiring various loot, and the quality of life of various exotics. So let us know what stands out to you and what you're most excited for. But between now and Season 23, I'll be sure to keep you posted with more details on the changes as Bungie reveal them. So definitely get subscribed for more news and coverage of the new content when it drops. If you've enjoyed the video today though, a rating really does help us out down below. And also feel free to get subscribed to the channel so I can keep you up to date with everything related to the game. Otherwise though, I appreciate you all tuning in, and whatever you get up to, I hope you have an awesome day.